There's the ham radio again, guys. Here we're leaving Port Mayaca along the shores of Lake Okeechobee, heading back towards West Palm Beach area. There ain't nothing out here, but I'd like to live out here for a winter home, I guess you could say. So enjoy the ride all the way back. We're actually going to stop by your president's house, Donald J. Trump. Thank God he was elected instead of that Kamala Harris garbage. There's Lake Okeechobee. Nothing over there. Hopefully the battery doesn't go dead before we get there. Looks like they're working on the railroad cross. These railroads serve the sugarcane fields, bell pepper fields, and strawberry fields, and everything else. When they get full, they head all the way up to Fort Pierce, Daytona, and all those areas, Titusville, to be processed. There might be one or two other places, but I don't remember. Banana trees grow wild on the side of the roads up here, or down here. See all the sugar cane over here. See it all? Far as you can see, sugar cane. In the fall time, about approximately September, November, somewhere around there, I believe it is. They'll start burning it, they'll burn all the leaves off, and they take all the cane from it and harvest it, put it on the rail cars. In 1925 and 35, they had the Lake Okeechobee flooded during the hurricane. A lot of black migrant workers and just citizens had just died and perished from the floods. And that's before they had the dike around Lake Okeechobee. And they're all buried up there in mass graves in Port Mayaca Cemetery. Sad shame. I was going to stop and see if I can get some bananas, but a lot of it's private property. They got it fenced off a lot of places, and you don't want to go start taking things from trees and they don't belong to you. That's just stealing. There's a rows of mangoes there. And I like to stop and get some. Let me see. Yep, I passed it up. I might have to turn around here, folks, and go get some. So here I'm going to stop the camera and turn around and resume it when I get out. Okay, we got us some mangoes and we are heading towards West Palm Beach. Welcome. That's my phone going off. Somebody thanking me for getting them some mangoes. They're all over the place out here. That's actually a mango farm back there. Now I gotta find some good old oranges. I'd like to find me some Valencia and some Honeybell, I think they call them. Valencia is mainly what they use to make orange juice with. We are entering Canal Point, out in the middle of nowhere. My little lady Emily keeps on messaging me. I think she needs some loving. I think that's what she needs. Okay, we're out in the glades where they grow all the sugar cane. Probably about 90% sugar cane. Some grow bell peppers and melons and that type of stuff. If you like mangoes, the glades is where to come get them. There's a lot of them out here. The lady said there's no sugar cane ready yet. Well, she would have gave me some stalks, or what they call they're like bamboo. That's what they look like when they're harvested. Just a bunch of sticks. We used to come out here when we were younger and come sneak off to the side and cut some down, put them in the trunk, and then get home and cut them open and just chew on it. You don't swallow it because it's stringy. And chew on the sugar cane to get the sugar out of it. We didn't sleep for days. We were so high on sugar. And I am literally out in the middle of nowhere. The camera might shake on this road because these roads are pretty bad out here, so be patient. far as you can see. Sugarcane. I'll pan over here to a little bit. You'll see my ham radio engine in the way too. Sugarcane, far as you can see, both sides. I don't know what about this, but I just love this out here. I love it out in the middle of nowhere like this. Kind of reminds me of almost like Kansas when they're growing their corn, in Nebraska. But what can you say? I live in Kentucky, visiting down here in Florida, my old stomping grounds, at least west of my old stomping grounds, of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. You gotta watch for alligators crossing the road. Sometimes they streak across fast as lightning. Sometimes they just lay on the asphalt because it's warm. There's a guy down in the Alligator Alley crossing from Fort Myers over to Miami, and an alligator darted out in front of him. The truck hit it and flipped the truck 4 or 5 times. So these alligators, they can do some severe damage. So you got to watch when you're out here and have your eyes always peeled, ready for something to happen. Just like in Kentucky, we got to watch for deer darting out. I mean, they just, out of the middle of nowhere, just come out and you'll run right over them. Sorry folks, I can't put music to this. Like I mentioned in one of the other videos, or earlier, that last time I made a YouTube video, that YouTube had taken my video, made it completely silent, so all my talking was eliminated. So I'll just leave my music off until later on. 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm heading back to Kentucky. This is July 8th. It's a Wednesday. It is July 8th. And I'm leaving back north at 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. I know these are boring videos, just driving out in the middle of nowhere, but people that's never been here, you can see what the sugarcane country is like here. And Pahokee, where that road takes you, Mud City Road, that's where Mel Tillis used to live. You know, the country singer that stuttered. And over on my left, I ain't gonna turn the camera there, but it's all sod farms. That's a big business now too, is sod. And that's what they're doing over on my right, excuse me, my left. I'd rather grow sugar because it's sweet like me. I know you shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, it's not bragging when it's true. Oh gosh, you're gonna have the comments in the section here. Man, I tell you, I know you're all gonna rip me for that one. And we're gonna find out what the detour is up here. Oh boy, this road is closed. So, the other day, I went straight. So now I gotta go towards Belle Glade. Well, how you like that? Don't know what happened, but that's the way I gotta go. Can't do nothing about it. The police officer's sitting right there. I guess I can pan over here. You can see all the sod farms. They grow all the sod. Send it all over Florida, Georgia, and other states. Now this road's pretty bumpy, so the camera might jump up and down. So much for Palm Beach County using tax dollars to fix roads. Palm Beach County is so corrupt, I tell you. It's the reason why I left back in 1992. Thought I'd come back in 99, work for the town of Jupiter for a while. That was political there. Went back to Kentucky to work for a company that they asked me to come back, and guess what? They were packing up and leaving, going to Mexico. So, any ham radio operators, don't buy Belden's wire and cable. It's a bunch of garbage. Buy the ABR type stuff. Or you got Times microwave system, which is much better coax wire for you ham radio operators, much better. Belden's wire is the worst. My supervisor told me, you know, I had some wire that was not passing the sweep test. He said, that's alright, they're not going to notice, just send it out. It's going to a third world country anyways, and people that don't know what they're doing. So, that's your Belden supervisors. Back then, I'm not saying they are now. Now, don't get me wrong. Belden's not sponsoring me, and nobody else is sponsoring me. I'm saying this on my own. So, anyways, just stick to Times Microwave or the ABR. They're very good coax wire, ABR. So, you ham radio operators, that's the best stuff to buy. The best stuff. I remember these curves very well. I'll go as far as I can with this battery. The other two batteries are dead. And I will have to cut it short to save some battery power for some pictures I gotta take. But we are going to get on 441 and head east towards West Palm Beach here in just a little bit. Just gotta get out of the sugarcane fields. That's all that's out here, sugarcane and sod. Since I'm so bored, somebody figure this joke out. It's not a joke, it's almost like a riddle. If you had 26 sheep and one died, how much would you have left? Let me repeat that. If you had 26 sheep and one died, how much would you have left? Put your answer in the comment section. My father drove me crazy trying to figure that one out. He said his school teacher back in the 1930s asked that question. Here in about 6 minutes. I got to reset the timer on this because it records. All depends on what frames per second I'm running, or it's 1080 or 1920 or whatever it is. This runs for 20 minutes, so I got about 5 minutes and 40 seconds left till I have to stop it. And restart it. People think I'm crazy with wanting to live out here in the middle of nowhere. Lived in the city all my life. In Kentucky, I live in a little town, corrupt little town, and I just like the peace. Just love the peace. And here soon, it looks like I'm coming up to, I don't know, it might be 441. It looks like it. Okay, this is the detour road here, State Road 80. This is it. This is where I go east. I mentioned about going to 441, but 441 goes down there by Belle Glade and goes south of wherever else. And Highway 27, which back in the old days we used to call it Killer 27, because so many people got killed on that road when it was really small and narrow. So, anyways, Southern Boulevard is also known by the Highway 80. Let me get around this guy. Alright, now we're heading east. My camera got a little bit off. Hey, doggy. One of my last videos, somebody asked me, what am I using for a camera? I'm using a Nikon D5300. It's an older model, the digital camera, and I'm running at 30 frames per second instead of 60. Still get a good thing. Original road before this was built used to go a little bit south of here in the Belle Glade, which was a small, narrow, one lane road each way. And Palm Beach County finally got smart for a change and made this road. Growing up in Florida was nice back in the 70s and 80s. Then when all those taxes start going sky high and everything else, and the housing market and everything else, and all the developers from the Northeast come down and start buying up all the land and building, while the wildlife left or was killed out. Okay, here in about 50 seconds, I'm going to stop it real quick and restart it. Be like a change you'll see. Okay, I'm going to stop this real quick. Alright, the battery looks like it's trying to go dead. At least it's in the red right now. When we get to 20 Mile Bend, that's when I will stop the video, if the battery lasts that long. Just wanted to make a boring video of me driving out in the Everglades and the sugarcane fields and all that in western Palm Beach County, western Martin County. A lot of memories it brings back. If the developers didn't build everything, heck, I might have still been down here, but I don't like all that building. A little dusty out here today because that dust from the Sahara Desert blowing over here to the United States, especially South Florida here. You can see it. You can't see it through the camera, but I can see it south of me and the east of me. So Africa's trying to get us back, sending all that dust and dirt and everything else over here. Well, it looks like we're coming into more of the city life coming up here. This is where they call it the 20 Mile Bend. Won't be too far up here. Might be a little bit premature on my mileage, but which I am. Camera goes off automatically, you know the battery died, but I like to try to get this all the way to the 20 Mile Bend. If not, I'll have to do it next year. to my left is all the sugarcane processing places. Some of that dust must be coming up through my car, my truck here. Still flashing red, so it's going to probably turn off here soon. Hopefully not, but just might. Used to go over the Bell Blade. Well, it still does, but that's the old road. And this is the 20-mile Bend area. So, folks, since we're start getting to the city part, I'm going to turn this off. Try to save a little power. So. There's an alligator over there. That's now. Everybody have a good one.